One of the most common questions that gets searched in the tech sphere without a doubt is, how do you build a PC? And while we do have some great tutorials on our channel going through elements of this, we thought it was time to provide you all with a definitive guide on how to build a PC in 3 episodes, because it's quite a long process actually. So if you want to learn how to build a PC from compiling a parts list to building to installing Windows, you better stick around. G'day legends, I'm Jono from Thermaltake Australia, and let's build a PC together. Over the next 3 weeks, I'm going to take you through the journey of putting together your very first gaming PC. Now in episode 1, we're going to take you through planning and choosing your parts. But if you already have your parts and just want to jump straight into building, then you might want to skip ahead to episode 2, which we'll insert right about here once it's up. So I'm sure you're wondering, Jono, why are you sitting behind a desk and not with all the parts in front of you, ready to build? And that's because building is most certainly not the first part of putting a PC together. The far less exciting, albeit incredibly vital stage of planning comes first. And even within planning, there are a few separate parts too. So, part 1, the planning stage, is what I like to call the getting to know me stage. This is the part where you need to dig right deep into your cranium and think about what kind of PC you want to create. Sure, you could just say a good one and leave it at that, but that's probably going to result in a PC that isn't the most optimal one for you, both in price and in performance. The easiest way to start this off is to decide on your budget. Now, I know money is a bit of a tough thing to think about, but it really is vital in determining where you need to start. Also, as a side note, the interesting thing about PCs is that unlike in a lot of other hobbies, getting the latest and greatest might not actually be the best choice. So don't be worried if your budget is essentially peanuts. I've been there, because there will always be options that can work. And unlike most consoles or laptops, PCs are easily upgradable. If you have to use a cheaper part now, don't sweat it or get hung up on it, because swapping that part out is a solid option you can take later. Additionally, when deciding your budget, make sure to factor in other elements like monitors, peripherals, and a Windows key. These are extra costs that are unrelated to the PC building itself, but are vital for actually using your PC after you've built it. When it came to thinking about the PC we would build for this series, we did consider just plucking a random budget out of thin air, but instead, we came up with another option. You see, I much prefer designing PCs for actual people and not imaginary ones. So we put the call out over on our Discord to see if there was anyone out there looking to build their first gaming PC. And what do you know? We found the perfect person. Side note, if you want to potentially be in a video one day, make sure you join our Discord, because that's where we'll ask. Link in the description. Cheeky plug. So everyone, meet Alice, or Alice in Zombieland as she is known over on Twitch. Alice is a variety streamer from just over the pond in New Zealand. She recently took part in our 10-hour charity stream and was super keen to work with us again on compiling, building, and setting up her very own gaming PC. With Alice now as our jumping off point, we went ahead and had a chat with her regarding what kind of PC she needed. We began by asking her what her budget was, and this is what she said.
Because it's my first PC, I've worked out a budget which would be a really good base and a great start for me to get on the ground of a gaming PC. So that budget is 2.8 to 3,000 New Zealand dollars.
Alrighty, we have a budget. Now it's time to think about what this PC will be used for. Are you primarily a sweaty FPS competitive gamer who needs every frame possible? Or more of an open world RPG explorer who would prioritize something like the best graphics rendering? Or maybe you just play Roblox in your browser. Whatever the use of this PC will be, this is really an important factor for choosing parts. And this is what Alice had to say.
I currently game on Xbox Series X. It's a brilliant system, but for me, it limits me in a way of streaming and video producing. So getting a PC would really open up my streaming to the next level, and just that upgrade would be kind of life-changing, really. My favorite genres are survival horrors and first-person shooters. I love the Halo series, the Resident Evil series are brilliant, Gears of War, and Apex Legends. PC would not only give me access to a whole new range of horror games like Phasmophobia and The Forest, but also open me up to a whole new kind of world of strategy games like Age of Empires, which I played when I was way younger, but haven't really touched in ages, so it'd be really cool to get into it and redevelop my love for kind of strategy games like that.
The last major area that is worth thinking about is your space. Will this PC live in the corner of the living room on the floor? I hope not. Will there be access to an Ethernet port, or will you need Wi-Fi? Is your entire gaming room purple, so getting a bright orange PC might look a little bit weird? Having a good idea of where your PC will go and how it'll look, if you care about that sort of thing, is another area that will help narrow down your parts list. This is what we're working with for Alice.
The PC would fit very snug on my desk, or probably behind me, so it's in my whole streaming background. I'm a huge lover of green, so if we could kind of work green into the theme, that would be amazing. So I definitely need Wi-Fi. My current situation at the moment means I have to use Wi-Fi. I'm not able to use a corded situation, so Wi-Fi is definitely needed.
Alright, so you've got your budget, we know what the PC's primary use will be, and we've considered things like space and appearance. Now it's time to move into part 2 of planning, researching your parts. This is where I want to remind you of something I mentioned a little earlier. Having the newest, most expensive part isn't always the best choice, and this is the time for you to figure out what would be the most optimal for you. As an example, there's no point in grabbing just the flagship graphics card just released if you're only going to be playing on a 1080p monitor at 60Hz, and you're not wanting to upgrade your monitors. You can save yourself so much money by actually factoring examples like that in, and taking the time to see what parts will perform the best for your situation, and funneling large portions of your budget to the parts that fit your intended goal. If you have an idea already of what parts you're interested in, research them. Find benchmarks and reviews, and have a look at what the general consensus is around that part. Additionally, there will be different benchmarks and reviews depending on the maker of said part. For example, say you're leaning towards a 3070 graphics card. You might find a certain MSI version has a better review than a different company's version. So not only is it important to look at overall reviews of a 3070, but also the different makes of it as well. On the flip side, if you still have no idea what parts to look for, there is hope. Lots of creators make part list videos on YouTube or on blogs, so simply punching in the budget you have into Google will absolutely give you some great jumping off points. As another option, you could go onto places like PC Tech forums or Discord servers and ask the people in there for suggestions they have. Now take some of that with a pinch of salt, as you may find too many opinions which contradict each other. Once you've done a solid amount of research, it's time to move into the final part of planning, which is putting the part list together. The best site for this is the tried and true PC Part Picker. This site is amazing for making sure that all of the parts you're wanting to use will work together, and if there's any compatibility issues, the site automatically flags it down at the bottom of the page and explains what could go wrong. If you're also not sure, for example, what power supply wattage you need to use, PC Part Picker actually calculates how much you need. This is a great stage to fine-tune your part list, as PC Part Picker does link to tons of resellers with current pricing on hardware, which can give you a good idea of how much this will all cost. But a big reminder, these are not the only prices. PC Part Picker does require advertisers, in this case resellers, to actually pay to list their products on it. So not everybody wants that kind of buy-in. So it really is worthwhile looking into your own prices and hunting down the best deals for the parts you are after yourself. Also, don't forget there's a secondhand market out there. I wouldn't recommend it for every part, but things like RAM or cases would be alright, but as a first time builder, I would 100% avoid parts like power supplies or CPUs secondhand. So now let's get stuck into our parts list for Alice. The base for most of my builds start with the choice of CPU. For Alice, I'm thinking Intel 12th Gen, as currently, and it's super weird saying this out loud, but they're quite the value choice. Alice is in need of something that can play games, stream, and create content. So going through a bunch of YouTube and written reviews, the Intel 12600K is the clear winner. It's got a total of 10 cores, 16 threads, and can boost up to 4.9 GHz, provided it's cooled properly. There's plenty of stock as well. With our CPU chosen, it's time to think about the motherboard which it'll be housed in. There are currently 4 compatible chipsets with 12th gen Intel. However, for the majority of people, especially first time builders, I would look at the 2 main ones, which are Z690 and B660 motherboards. There are some slight differences between them, most notably would be the different outputs on the back, but the B660 would be more geared towards someone who's building just a pure gaming system, with the Z690 being a slightly pricier version with more bells and whistles, but also they're currently more available and have Wi-Fi, which Alice needs for her setup. One last thing I want to mention is that with this new Intel platform, you have the option of these chipsets with either DDR4 or DDR5 memory, and so you do have a choice to make that's a little hard. Because right now we are prioritizing gaming, I'm sticking with DDR4. The price of DDR5 is just too high right now, and it just doesn't match up to the DDR4 yet for gaming performance. So with all of this in mind, I've chosen the Aorus Elite Z690, as it ticks the most boxes for Alice. To cool it, I've gone with the TH240 all-in-one. A stock cooler just wasn't going to cut it here, so it was either one of those awesome tough airs or an all-in-one. Alice wanted to go with an all-in-one really for aesthetic reasons, and that is absolutely fair enough. For the other components we'll be running, either air or water cooling are both entirely valid options, so I just went with the one she preferred the look of. For RAM, I've elected to go with 16GB of our Z1 RAM. This was a bit of a tricky choice because at first I was going to go for 32GB, but after doing some research and actually chatting with some streamers I know, I came to realize 32GB for what Alice is going to be doing with her PC just isn't necessary. Additionally, Alice has no plans as of the moment to do any video production or use any big chunky resource heavy programs, so the 16GB is really the best option for price and requirements right now, and is also a very easy upgrade for Alice down the line if she does choose to go down that path. For the power supply, I wanted to go with one that could give Alice's system some reliable power for the components chosen. Because of this, I've gone with one of our personal favorites of ours, the GF1 650. This is of course a gold rated power supply, which means we know it'll handle well under load, and 650 watts is more than enough wattage for the components we are using, but also gives Alice some wriggle room if she chooses to upgrade further down the line. Storage was a no-brainer for Alice's build. I knew very early on I wanted 2 M.2s for the speed and ease of upgradability they allow for. So we're going to go with a 500GB M.2 for her OS and maybe a few smaller programs, as well as a 1TB M.2 for all of the chunky games and Warzone updates that Alice will want to stream. There is honestly nothing worse than having to uninstall games and reinstall them every 2 seconds due to space, and I imagine that's even worse if you've hit live before realizing that you haven't got the game installed you were planning to stream. For this reason, Alice is getting both of these drives. The case was certainly a point of discussion for a while, but in the end, we got down to a few options and Alice ended up choosing the Divider 500. This is an awesome ATX sized case with lots of room for all sorts of beefy components and is overall just a gorgeous looking case. We have elected to go with the Air version, which will also just help provide Alice with the best airflow possible within the smallish space she has to work with. Alright, now it's time for the big boy, the graphics card. This was also a tricky one, but factoring in the games that Alice plays the most and her budget, I've elected to go with the Asus Dual 3060 Ti. In all honesty, the main reason for this is budget. If we had a little bit more to spend, I would absolutely have gone with a 3070. But, and I am sorry to use this phrase for the 1 billionth time, it really is the best bang for buck latest gen right now. Also, going with an RTX card is of course an easy choice. The NVENC encoder is a must-have for streaming in my opinion, and AMD cards just aren't even in the ballpark when it comes to that field. Lastly, to add a bit of blingage, I'm throwing in some of our Pure Duo fans. These will add some gorgeous colors to the system and of course also have a practical element too, in that they keep that precious air flowing. We're also tapping in some Lumi LED strips to get even more LED lighting goodness in this case, especially considering Alice's love for the color green. Wow, we've already gotten to the end of the planning stage. We have figured out what sort of PC Alice needs by thinking about her budget, what she plans to use the PC for, and have factored in her space and other extra needs like Wi-Fi and keeping up with that sweet green color scheme. Next step is building, and if you want to see a fully in-depth video showing you how to put all of this together, then you better tune in next week for episode 2 of how to build your very first gaming PC. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already so you don't miss it. And just in case you can't wait and want a little peek at what's in next week's video, here's a teaser to whet your appetites, and we'll see you then. G'day legends, Jono here from Thermaltake Australia, and welcome back to how to build your very first gaming PC. We're going to be showing you how to piece it all together. I'm pretty excited to show you guys, so instead of delaying, let's jump straight into it.